Hello music lovers, hello music fans, curious YouTubers, and of course the vinyl community. It is James coming back with a new video. It's been a while. I think it's been almost 2 weeks since my last video. I was out of town all last week, didn't have any time at home whatsoever. Then I came home with a nasty cold, so I thought, hey, start feeling better and then you can get back on the video making side of things. So here I am, and hope everyone is doing well. Today's video is a thread response. My very good friend here in the vinyl community, James Lack, rockboy680, made a wonderful video. He was showing his top 10, I think it was, colored vinyl records, and he had a wonderful assortment of soundtracks and various newer things, older things, and a great variety of color records, and asked the vinyl community to make it a thread. So since I haven't really done any thread responses yet on my channel, I thought, what a great opportunity. Get to support my great friend and get to talk about color records, or color vinyls, so I can't beat those two things. So I pulled out 10 as well, James. I just kind of randomly went through all my records, so many to pick from. I don't keep any type of organization when it comes to color versus black vinyl, traditional vinyl, and just kind of keep it by genres, how I do my filing. So I just kind of pulled out things that just hit me right at the moment. So I'm just going to get right to it and talk about some records that are important to me and have some cool color to it. And some of these really aren't even important to me. I just love the color. So it's kind of a mixed bag of things that I find extremely good, very highly thought of records, and other things I just wanted to show because it's so damn cool. So I'm going to start with this one, and this is one of those that fall into the category of something that is very important to me, one of my very favorite bands. In fact, if you could see in front of me, I don't want to turn the camera because I don't do edits, but I've got like a little shrine here with the poster that came with this record, some photographs I took at the concert, I've got an autographed band picture, and a bunch of other memorabilia here behind me of this wonderful band, Young the Giant. Young the Giant in 2014 came up with their second album, Mind Over Matter, and it was a limited edition color pressing on their record label of 500 copies. And this is a gatefold, but this particular copy, I have a black vinyl copy and also a white vinyl copy that came out months later from Urban Outfitters, an American store here in the US. But this is the exclusive record label Fuel for Ramen exclusive splatter vinyl, or marble vinyl, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to show this one of the three that I have. I mean, one is just black and the other one is just a solid white, but this is the cool of the lot, and it was limited to 500 copies, and it's on this gray and black marbleized beautiful 2 LP set. So wanted to start with that because my love of Young the Giant, I've seen him live now 3 times, and I have met a couple of the people in the band, and they're just an absolute favorite of mine. I know my other friend here in the VC, Richie. Richie's also a big fan of Young the Giant, and there's probably others out there. Kind of an up-and-coming band. They've only got the 2 albums. This is their second album, and didn't do as well as their debut. Some people say it's not as good, but I personally think it's just as good, or maybe even a little bit better, a little bit more diverse, and a little bit more rockin' than their first album, and it certainly translates very well to the live stage. So, Young the Giant, Mind Over Matter, this was limited to 500 copies, and just really fun to have it on this limited edition color vinyl. As I move through these records, there's a lot of talk about color vinyl. Does it sound as good as black vinyl? Is it as hardy and sturdy, and does it warp easy? And I would say yes, it does warp easy. It does warp a little bit more than black vinyl, especially where I live in the extreme heat of Texas. I do find that in the summertime I do have to slow down on mail orders when it comes to color vinyl because they come warped, and it's not uncommon. As far as sound quality goes, though, if it's done right, I don't see any difference between color and black vinyl on sound quality. Picture discs, however, is a different story, but you all know that. But I enjoy getting colored vinyl when I can. I don't go out of my way for it too often. If I stumble across it, it's great. If there's limited editions and I want the album anyway, I do tend to go for those. But I don't spend big money to collect just completely color vinyl. I know some people are very, very passionate about their color vinyl, but I'm kind of in the middle of the road, I guess, when it comes to color vinyl. It's not that important to me, but when it happens, and it's a favorite of mine or something I find extremely interesting, it certainly is an enhancement and something cool to collect. Next one, James, you showed so many cool soundtracks. I think you showed 3 or 4 really cool soundtracks, and unfortunately I had every one of those, so I don't want to be a repeat. So I'm going to show one that I don't have. James and I tend to like a lot of the same music, we like the same movies, and of course that's why we're such good friends. But one soundtrack I have that I don't think you have, and you certainly didn't show, was the soundtrack to the film The Maze Runner. Very good film, and the soundtrack is also quite interesting, and it's on Music on Vinyl, who do quite a few of their soundtrack pressings. This is a numbered edition, low number on this one, number 124. So if you saw the film The Maze Runner and liked it, you'd probably be interested in this particular piece of vinyl. I am a bit of a soundtrack collector, not massive, but this is one of those genres, if it's interesting colors, it does kind of enhance my wanting to buy it. And this one is certainly qualifies for interesting color. Definitely, it's kind of got this, I don't even know how to describe this color. It's green and black, but it has a very transparent tint to it. The camera's not doing it complete justice, but it really is pretty. And it sounds amazing. Anything on Music on Vinyl is really, really pretty. So I wanted to show the Maze Runner soundtrack and tell folks, because it wasn't an extremely popular film, it didn't break any records at the box office. They are making a sequel to it. But if you haven't seen the film, start with the film, because I think it's quite good and interesting. And the music is quite good in it too. So gotta be honest with you, if this was on black vinyl, I probably wouldn't have been as interested to own it, but since the vinyl was so cool, this is one of those instances where the color definitely enhanced my wanting to buy it. Okay, let's show something older. Colored vinyl is not new. It's not anything that just was invented in the last 5 years to make people want to go out and purchase vinyl records. It's been around a long time. This is a record from the 80s. Of course, many of you know Miss Kate Bush, wonderful artist. This is probably her most famous album, The Hounds of Love, and I happen to have a color version of this album. And I wanted to show something older, so let me show you the color version I have of it. It's not the super duper rare one. I think there's one kind of on a pinkish vinyl that's even more rare, but this is more of the grayish, similar to the first one I showed in Kaida, but more gray on this one. But it was just neat, and I found it out in the wild, and I thought, gotta have that. Sounds really good. Great record, first and foremost. If you're not familiar with The Hounds of Love by Kate Bush, definitely check that out. Wonderful artist, wonderful deep catalog, and somebody who continues to inspire and impress, and just recently wrapped up a big comeback shows in London. She did some remarkable shows, from what I understand. My good friend Tim Guthrie went out to London to see Kate Bush, so wow, can't do better than that. Next one up is from a very favorite band of mine, and I hope they continue. One of the members has passed away. Unfortunately, he got cancer at a very young age and passed away on Christmas Eve 2013, so just right before 2014 started. Ben Curtis passed away, but School of Seven Bells is an absolute favorite of mine. You've probably heard me talk about them before, and if I haven't, you'll hear me soon talking more about School of Seven Bells, but this is a record that they put out. This is their second LP called Disconnect from Desire, and this is a 2 LP gatefold edition of this album, and it's also on a really cool color. This spins at 45 RPM, so the sound is amazing. And just a fantastic record. I absolutely love it, and again, it's kind of that similar gray and black pattern that apparently is common, because I've shown 3 now with it, but this is one of those I'm showing that I pulled out because of the music. I love this record, I love this band, and I've got everything they've ever done, every 12-inch single, every 45, 7-inch, and I love them. And unfortunately, like I said, Ben Curtis passed away, but the singer, whose name escapes me at the minute, is carrying on, and I think she's going to continue recording under the name School of Seven Bells, and maybe with some new collaborations, and who knows, maybe a whole different sound, but I'm eager to hear what she has to come up with next, because she has a lovely, lovely voice. So, School of Seven Bells. Next one up is a band that I really honestly don't know a lot about. Some other people like Ryan Dye and others in the VC, Nathan, might know more about this band, but I like this album. It's a band called Collection of Colony of Bees. And every time I play this record, I always think this is one of my favorite looking records. And I didn't even know it was on colored vinyl until I bought it. It was just one of those nice surprises. If you guys have ever bought a record and didn't even know what you were buying and got something cool like this. So I feel very blessed to have it. I don't know if it was limited or anything, but I do want to show you the record because it's just spectacular. And look at that thing. Isn't that pretty? So both sides are a little bit different, more pink, and black is the secondary color on this side, and then the other side is kind of inverted. So wonderful post-rock music, soft rock, whatever you want to call it. I'm not too much into labels, but I do enjoy this band. And I should have done a little bit more research to give you more information about Collection of Colony of Bees, but this is a record that I do find on my turntable quite often, and of course it looks remarkable spinning. So wanted to show you that one. And get this put back in real quick. And I'll just start leaving a pile here so I don't drag this video on and on and on. Next one I'm going to show is one I've shown you before on a different video when it first came out. I was so excited about it, but it's so beautiful and so remarkable and so perfect of an album. I said, I've got to show it again. And that is the new Father John Misty, or most recent Father John Misty, I Love You Honey Bear album. This is the limited edition with the fancy pop-up gatefold and the music. You have to pull a tab and it plays the song Honey Bear, kind of a music box sound to it. And of course the vinyl records. There was a lot of talk and controversy about the original pressing being warped, and yes, it was slightly warped, but not beyond playing by any means. But they did replace the records. In fact, when they did replace them, they came with this wonderful letter explaining the process and what went wrong, and you know what they did to try to make it right. And they said a nice poster, and now I have two of them. So because the first one plays well enough, it is slightly warped, but the new ones come perfectly. But it's got that tricolor look to it, 3 different colors on this one, and then the second record has even a different color to it. So they went all out on this pressing, and I just couldn't be more happy with it. It's just such a spectacular album. First of all, the music is just so good, and feel very fortunate that I have not only 1 but 2 copies of the limited edition vinyl records with this tricolor. Now when they replaced it, they only replaced the records. They didn't replace the pop-up sleeve and the beautiful gatefold that it came with. So I just keep the second set in this just plain white sleeve because that's how it came to me. So fine by me. I just appreciate them doing that. Next record I'm going to show is a band that I'm really not that familiar with at all. It's my first and only record of theirs, and they may have more. I just don't even know. It's a band called Orange, Yellow, Red. And the reason I pulled this one out is it's good. It's good shoegaze music, and it's a very fine record. But I pulled it out mainly to show you the vinyl color because it is super unique and really special. So I thought you would be interested in seeing that. And James, you showed so many cool records. I am having a hard time competing with you, but this one might help. Again, the camera's not doing it justice. It's just so spectacular. Unfortunately, you can only get so much resolution on the iPad, but from my angle, unfortunately, it doesn't come through very good. But from what I'm seeing, especially when you shine it in the light, it is just absolutely a stunner. So I thought you guys might want to see that one. And if you're tempted to go buy it, you're going to be even more impressed when you get it and see it in your home lighting, because it's so much better in person. Unfortunately, the camera just doesn't pick it up too well. So, but Orange, Yellow, Red, they're on St. Marie Records. I was going to say, let me have a look, but I remember where I bought this. I haven't had it that long. So that's a fun one. And let's see what else I pulled out for you, James. This is a band that's gotten a lot more popular in the past, I'd say, 12 months or so after the release of this album. This is their 4th album, and I've got all 4 of them, and this is the only one I have on the color vinyl version of it. This is First Aid Kit, Stay Gold. Well, and you can imagine what the vinyl record color is. I'll show it to you. I'm almost sure this one is a solid color. but I'm going to show you real quick because I know it's highly sought after and it kind of goes for a pretty high price on the aftermarket. And it is a really pretty transparent gold vinyl. And again, just the fabulous music. This is a Norwegian duo, First Aid Kit, but they have a very American sound. And you would never know they're Norwegian. I think they're Swedish or from Norway or something like that. But they sound so American, they could come from middle part of USA real easy. In fact, on Record Store Day, they released a 10-inch single of one of the songs off this album, and a live version of America, the Simon & Garfunkel song. So, hey to you, Ross Goodall, my good friend who's such a Simon & Garfunkel fan. But their version of America is wonderful. It gives me chills when I hear it. So check out First Aid Kit. This is a wonderful album and certainly worth listening to in any color. Don't know what how many copies of this existed, but I know they're pretty highly sought after now. A couple more to show you to get to the 10. This was a blessing. This one I picked up used in the record bin here at Waterloo Records here in Austin for $8.99, and it's by a band called the American Dollar. I'd never heard of them, and I saw that the condition was immaculate. Just picked it up and said, I don't care, I'm just going to try it. I'm like that. I like trying things and I don't have a clue what it's about. Didn't open it. I thought $9, it's not that much of a risk. I felt how heavy it was. It's a double gatefold, so it really is. I'm going to try to get it all on the camera here. Just beautiful, super glossy. Didn't know what kind of music it was. Didn't know anything about the American Dollar. And when I got home and I opened it, I'm like, holy buckets, look at this thing. It's so beautiful. And this may be my most pretty record. It is just an absolute work of art. And again, the camera's not going to do it justice. But from my end, with the light coming the other direction, man, it is gorgeous. It's just got that liquid-filled look to it, like it's got lava inside. It looks like it's exploding. Lava, like an old lava lamp or something. And with the light, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the best part of all of it is I absolutely love the music. I've gone now and downloaded their entire catalog because you can do that on their website for very cheap. In fact, I think I've got all their CDs now too, and I've got one other vinyl record that they've put out on vinyl since this. So that was one of my best blind buys ever, the American Dollar. This album is called A Memory Stream. In fact, I think I liked it so much I gave Ryan Dye a VCLT copy of this, and I hope you're enjoying it, Ryan, because it's one of my favorite surprises that just absolutely stumbled upon. Pure accident, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and that one was definitely worked. Okay, I saved one for last, and the reason I picked this last, not because it's the most spectacular, but just a band I absolutely love, and I just heard recently that they're completing their third album, and I'm so happy to hear what they're going to do next because I'm a huge fan of the Australian band, the Temper Trap. And this is one of my favorite records in my entire collection. It's a self-titled second album, and again, it's one of those double gatefold records, and the artwork in it is just spectacular. And you can imagine, I guess, again, what the vinyl records are going to look like. Since I'm showing you the inside here, I'll show you both the first record and the second record real quick because they are beautiful. First one comes in this aqua color. I guess you would call it aqua or turquoise or something like that. And it's just a wonderful piece of art, not only visually but musically. One of my favorite bands and favorite records. Put that back in and show you the second one. Any guesses on what color that one is from the gatefold? Well, you guessed it. It's going to be purple. And let me get that open here. I really try to take really good care of my records, so I am a little bit careful. But it's just a really deep lavender, purple, I guess is the best word to describe it, and I love this record. So I didn't show you because it's spectacular in color. I showed you this one because ultimately, no matter what color record you get, it's all about the music. And I'm sure, James, you would agree with me that number one, we buy music because we love it, And then secondly, if you get something cool like that, it is really just a bonus. So there's 10 records for you, James, and everyone else watching, to respond to your thread about color records. You showed some really, really cool stuff. I love that Shaun of the Dead with the cornetto look to that record. I have it myself, as you know. And I didn't want to show the same things as you did because I want to encourage you guys who are watching my channel to go back and watch his video and do your own thread. Respond to James's original thread because these threads are a lot of fun. There's no contest, no prize involved, but I like these threads, and I hope to do more of them in the future. So thanks, James, for the suggestion. Thanks for the great videos. You always make great videos. Your channel is really my very favorite channel in the VC. And you're a wonderful person and a fantastic friend. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you soon, and take care. Bye for now.